taking a little bit of time, but I think that you see, mobile technology had come little early, but we thought that the mobile technology was only for the purposes of communication. Nobody thought that mobile technology can be harnessed for transmitting information also through internet. So that has come recently. So now people will slowly make use of mobile technology. CEC में क्या होता है कि then you go to a common service, the front end.
Right.
So you go to the front end to seek a service, or the services will be delivered through these centers, common service center.
Right.
Contact center is basically you have got a telephone number. It's a common telephone center, telephone number. Like in US, suppose you have got any problem, you want to know about anything, you just dial 911 and you will be able to get information. Whether it's a reservation, whether it's about a crop or about a disease or about whatever.
Right.
Similarly, we also wanted to create a facility of a common number for non-emergency usages. That's the idea.
And if you look at the various NEGP projects, which projects will categorize as a success, great success?
The entire NEGP, I would say. Because you can't say that this component is doing very well and this component is not doing very well, but as a whole, NEGP has done wonderfully well. Today, you go any part of the country and nobody questions the rationale for e-governance. Everybody says yes, e-governance is very much required for the purpose of transparency, accountability, efficiency, and making the life simpler and better.
And with regard to states, which states should we consider high on e-governance or moving towards success?
Today, all the state governments are moving very fast in the area of e-governance, whether it is Bihar or Uttar Pradesh or Karnataka or Kerala. The only thing is that southern states, they already had the advantage. They were the first movers, so they had already covered some distance.
Right.
So naturally, they will be a little ahead of other states who started a little late. But I am very sure that even the other states will catch up very fast, to catch up the southern states very fast.
So what is the status now?
You see, we were supposed to recruit about 350 professionals from IITs, IIMs and other such institutions. And we have been able to recruit about 100, and not only recruit, we have been able to deploy 115 professionals to various states. And we feel that within next 6 months' time, we'll be able to recruit balance 200, 250 professionals. And these professionals are going to be the eyes and ears of the state at the program level in the area of e-governance. You see, NIS is an excellent organization, and it's a unique organization because 51% equity is held by the private sector and 49% equity is with the central government. However, for all practical purposes, it's a government organization. So it has got a flexibility. Plus, government departments can drive a lot of comfort while negotiating with NISD or while negotiating with the private sector through NISD. So that's the value of NISD. You see, within the government of India, the capacity building is the responsibility of the concerned department. It is expected that whenever they take up a particular project of e-governance, within that project, they will earmark sufficient funds for the capacity building. And they are doing so. Like e-governance, like you take UID.
Right.
So they have earmarked a lot of funds. Like CCTN, they earmarked a lot of money for capacity building. And a lot of people are getting trained on that particular project. Today, one of the biggest problems was that we do not have identity for each and every resident of this country. And under these circumstances, it becomes very difficult to ensure that the subsidies are properly targeted for those target group people. So once a unique identity is given to a resident on the basis of biometrics, thereafter he or she can be tracked very quickly and very efficiently. There is no doubt over that. And this can become a common thread across all the government departments, across all government programs. You see, in democracy, pressure groups work very well. And if we create awareness, naturally that means we are creating pressure groups. Pressure groups to demand delivery of government services in electronic mode. If there is some kind of a pressure on the government will work a little faster. So that's the way we work.
One of the innovative initiatives Commonwealth Express was done by DIT. I mean, do you have some plans for similar such?
Yes. Last year we started, we took this initiative of starting Commonwealth Express, and 6 coaches were devoted to ICT and especially the e-governance, and these coaches went from one place to another place. It covered almost 50 destinations and large number of people.
What was their response?
Excellent. They were very happy because it is basically an awareness creation exercise.
Right.
They were very happy. Yes, so much can be achieved with the help of ICT, and that means slowly and slowly they will start demanding those services from the company. This year we are thinking of starting similar kind of, it's a mobile kind of an exhibition which will go from one place to another place like a caravan and things like that. We are going to take a lot of those initiatives.
And sir, are there some efforts going on assessment of projects as well?
All as per the mandate given to us, all e-governance initiatives had to be assessed in terms of their impact, and this assessment exercise is undertaken through third party, independent third party organization like IIMs and IITs. And whenever we undertake an initiative and e-governance, and once it has reached a certain level, and thereafter we deploy these agencies to undertake a third party assessment.
And sir, health is one of the key sectors, but it's not part of NEGP.
At the moment, but in the last Apex Committee meeting, it has been decided that we will expand this basket of 27 MMP, and the Cabinet Secretary has given a direction that if possible, let us include education and health and PDS.
And education itself is going forward in the form of NKN, National Knowledge.
No, that is only to provide a mechanism to transmit data and knowledge.
Right.
That's only a channel.
Right.
But ultimately the content has to be developed. You see, under the cloud computing concept, it is possible to use information and use resources and share information and share resources. Otherwise, today what happens that every department is trying to create its own resources, its own platform. That means they are creating their own silos. So there are two problems. First, it means huge cost because everybody is trying to start from the scratch and everybody is trying to develop its own network, own storage facilities and things like that. And secondly, then there may be issues of interoperability because you have got your own silo, I have got my own silo, and these two silos may not be able to talk to each other. On the other hand, if you work through a common platform, then the interoperability is assured.
Are you in the process of developing some interoperability framework per se? Or?
Yes, we have taken initiative in that particular direction also. We have notified a lot of standards.
Right.
That is for the purposes of interoperability. Not only that, we have come out with a policy, and our policy on the open standard has been notified. Right. In addition to that, we are trying to develop an IFAC. IFAC is Interoperability Government Framework.
Right.
IFAC, Interoperability Framework of Government.
And these guidelines are being followed by state governments? Or
these will be followed because whenever we give any money, we put in a condition that all these applications have to follow the standards which are notified by the DIT.
Right.
We have also taken initiative in this particular area, and our stated policy is to encourage open source software.
Right.
And in addition to that, government has taken a decision in principle that entire data and information which has been created and generated with public money should be available in public domain unless it is sensitive or unless it is confidential. And government is already working on that.